In this video, we're going to take a look at no jumps and how to avoid them, and what to do if you get into that scenario, that situation where you've done 2 no jumps in a row. Just how do you stop fouling for that 3rd time? At the recent British Championships, my long jumper Leigh fouled out 3 no jumps, and despite me telling her what to do between rounds, she still fouled. Now I'm going to explain firstly why I think that happened, and then I'm going to give you some tips and tactics which are often mental rather than physical in order to control the situation so that you don't foul. Leigh had hit the board perfectly on her run-throughs and had got great height off the board. She'd had room to spare on both the run-throughs that were allowed, so we took it back by half a shoe for the first jump, I should say, in the competition. And as you can see, she fouled minimally. Now, look at her running. She's pretty relaxed and there's good acceleration into the board and knee lift and positioning into the takeoff. So perhaps it was just one of those things. There was a wind following that varied between 1 to nearly 3 meters a second. So those conditions would also affect the run-up. And of course the adrenaline that ensues once you start jumping for real. So I told Leigh to go back a shoe for the 2nd round and to keep it under control. Now that is a crucial instruction. The jumper has to be in the moment. They have to be aware of what they're doing on the run-up. Now, you don't want to be overly calculative, but you do need to be aware of how things are progressing as you go down the run-up. Building up your speed and trying to get in the right positions to get a great takeoff. Now, what Leigh did on her 2nd attempt was get the crowd involved by starting to clap. Now that can affect the rhythm of your run-up. You may follow the beat of the clapping and forget to create your own acceleration, build-up and attack patterns. Now, Leigh was getting quite stressed about the 3rd jump, not surprisingly, given that it was her first senior British Championships. She was jumping well and she wanted to make the cut. I told her to relax, also to take back a shoe and to look for the board. I said that you only need 5 meters 90 to make it through to the final 8. So even if you don't touch the board, with the distances you're jumping at the moment, you're going to qualify. Put the jumper into a more relaxed state of mind. Make them believe that they don't have to hit the board at full speed, of course at good speed, but not at full speed in order to get the distance they want. Now, if it was the Olympic final, for example, and the jumper needed 6 meters 60, 6 meters 70 to make the cut, you wouldn't have that luxury unless you're a Malika Miambo or somebody who could jump 7 meters 30 and therefore 6 meters 60, 6 meters 70 without touching the board. Leigh, however, looked stressed, went back onto the run-up and started clapping again for the crowd. Perhaps she shouldn't have done that for that last attempt, and maybe that's something that I need to instruct her in future, and that you guys also need to bear in mind. Potentially you need to be in your own zone and not led by the external factors of the crowd noise, for example. You need, as I've said earlier, to create your own run-up rhythm. Anyway, Leigh sped down the run-up, and I knew from about 13 meters out that she was going to foul because she was running faster. She was not so in control of her speed. She'd gone up another notch, therefore stride length was going to be longer due to more force going down into the track surface, and she fouled. Probably the longest foul in terms of distance achieved, albeit it doesn't count, and in terms of being over the end of the board. Devastation, disappointment, but we have to reflect on why that was done, and she needs to understand what to do in future, and so do you guys if you're ever in that scenario. I hope that my jump by jump account of what happened and what I told Leigh to do and the tips and thoughts that I have around not fouling out will be of use to you. Now, of course, you have to practice your run-up over and over again in training. Obviously, a couple of centimeters out could be affected by the wind, a longer stride, more powerful sprinting, etc. But you need a rhythm that's replicable 99% of the time under all conditions. Leigh's run-up was pretty accurate. It only varied by about 5 centimeters in terms of hitting the board and by about 30 to 40 centimeters in terms of her adjustment on the run-up on the day of that competition when she fouled out. But I believe that she wasn't totally in control of what she was doing. And that is what you guys have got to learn. You've got to be aware of where you are on the run-up and what you need to do to qualify. You need to listen to what your coach says, but above all, you need to listen to what your consciousness says, what you do to control what you're doing. Do take a look at some of the other videos on the channel that look at how to get a great run-up. As usual, if you have any specific questions on the subject matter of this particular video, or indeed any of my others, then do leave a question in the comments below or through my other social media. And good luck with your training and competitions. Stay in control, be in the moment, and get the best out of yourself each time you compete. Please do subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notifications icon so that you'll be made aware of any new content when I upload it. And do feel free to share this video amongst your fellow athletes and coaches. Many thanks. If you'd like to help me help you become a better athlete or coach, then do consider becoming a channel member. For as little as £1.99 a month, $1.99 a month, you can become a channel supporter and do just that. So head over to the channel's homepage, click on the membership button and see what offers are available. If you like the Jumps Squad merchandise that I often wear in these videos, then do check out the spring store. You'll see the products available underneath this video. For example,